Oh, it's repeating. It's repeating.
It was in a loop.
It's repeating,
It was
Peter.
in a loop.
Yeah, there's something wrong in the matrix here. Yeah, there's something wrong in the matrix here. Yeah, there's something wrong in the matrix here. Yeah, there's something wrong in the matrix.
And it's still going on. You hear that?
I hear it.
And it's still going on. You hear that?
That's funny. I hear it.
And it's still going on. You hear that? All right, there we go. I think that might fix it.
Think you fixed it? All right. Hello, everybody. This is the Nerd Show. As you can tell, we're repeating. We got problems with the Matrix. This is our show to talk about everything nerdy. Check out Peter Brown's Kiss shirt. Very cool. I don't know if you would consider that nerdy. It's kind of cool.
I mean, you make fun of my music choices all the time, so I figured it counts. Mm-hmm. I figured it counts because you make fun of of my musical taste, and so I figured that's nerdy.
I never saw heavy metal as being nerdy though.
Okay,
I don't know what music would be kind of nerdy. What would you consider nerdy music?
More so, what you like is nerdy. The Smiths and all that kind of stuff. That is definitely more nerdy than what I liked, which was the popular music at the time, right? But
Peter, tell us, we're actually transmitting on Twitch.
Yeah, that's why you heard that echo. So I've been using a little bit, just using the Monday show to experiment a little bit, right? Because why not? And so we're on Twitch tonight, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, over the place. So I don't know. You guys
can follow our ugly mugs.
I don't know much about Twitch. I just know it's a streaming platform a lot of gamers use. I figured we'll throw it up there and see if anybody watches there. I don't know much about it, but everything. I like what Judge Dredd has to say here. Peter wants to rock and roll all night and party every day.
Oh, nice.
Just with this guy.
Oh, Peter Chris.
You knew the name.
Well, of course. My brother, he used to have all the albums.
Okay, so why do you think, Ed, I like this guy in particular?
Because he's a cat?
No. A little more personal. I hate cats. Oh, I don't hate cats. I don't like cats.
Because he sings that song Beth?
No, I have no relation to a Beth.
Okay, I don't know. I give up.
I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. We share a first name.
Peter, Chris, okay.
Okay, we share first, and my middle name is Christopher. So as a kid, I was like, I am Peter Chris.
Nice.
For Halloween, I would put on the makeup. I did the whole Peter Chris thing because I'm like, that's my name.
You played the drums too?
Hell no. I'm not musically inclined.
Oh, well, one of these days we have to bust out the pictures from when we were young so people could check us out. See Peter with the long hair,
We've done
Uncle Ed with the pompadour, but they haven't seen me.
No,
pompadour when I had hair.
Right. Imagine it, guys. Imagine Ed with hair.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
no beard.
I've seen a couple pictures that you've on Facebook and stuff with you. Sometimes you'll post an old picture or something like that. But I mean, most people, just try to imagine Ed with hair. It's hard. It's like a totally different person.
It is, man. My wife is like, man, I never would have recognized you. She said, because she remembers the bald Edgar, with the beard going on.
That's funny.
I had a big beard for a little bit too.
But I mean, at least her reaction wasn't the way my wife's reaction was, and is that if I had that long hair when we met, we would not have been together.
Wow.
She did not like it.
Yeah.
She was not a fan. So I had cut my hair probably a few years before I met my wife, and that was, it was a good move on my part because, I'm happily married and I made a good choice. She made a good choice, yada, 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 yada. Anyways.
Peter, let's say hi to some of... Yeah, before we do that, let's say hello to some of the people that are on
in
the chat room. Guys, get in the chat room, say hello so we can, sound you off. Richard Greenberg, our good friend from up north, the cold North Toronto. He was just down here, Peter. We missed him because his car broke down.
Yeah, he had car trouble.
The good thing for him, he didn't, about not hanging out with us, we probably would have been messing with him because his team lost. So, it could have gone either way, though.
Yeah, we've never sat with friends that are supporting the other team in the Inter Miami era. Do you know what I mean? We have not
Right.
not done that. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, I might have sat with back in the Striker days, might have sat with a New York Cosmo fan. I knew some Minnesota fans from back in the day.
Yeah.
But during this Inter Miami era, I've never sat with an opposing fan who's friend. So that'd been fun. It would have been fun.
Well, I also want to say to our fellow nerd, Judge Dredd the Law. How you doing, Judge Dredd? One world, one goal. Talk about nerdy girls. There you go.
She posted something on Twitter promoting the show for us, which we always appreciate. Basically saying she doesn't know about half the things we're talking about, but she likes listening in it anyways because, Ed, you're just too funny.
Oh, shucks. We try.
Oh, hang on a second. Richard Greenberg went on vacation to Miami and came home with COVID. Just got home from the weekend from hell in Miami and just positive for COVID. Lucky I didn't meet up with you two. Oh, God. Come to Miami, get COVID.
Wow, dude. That's
our new tagline. Come to Miami, get COVID. That sucks. I hope you feel okay, Richard.
That really does suck. Yeah, Richard, hang in there, man. I also want to say hello to Tank 721. Good old Tank. And our buddy Kata is also with us.
Yeah, we're going to talk about House of the Dragon.
We're going to be talking about that. And I think that's it, everybody. There's a good conversation going on in the chat room. Guys, don't forget to let us know what you guys want to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about House of the Dragon. Peter, and you guys can call in too.
Yeah, 786-474-4435. You can call in, leave a voicemail, or if I see it ringing, maybe I'll take it live.
There you
but
go.
Ed, where do we start off? So this week, I put up as the thumbnail SheHulk and House of Dragon because those both premiered this weekend. So I figured we should talk about those. But then there's some other stuff you wanted to talk about as well. But where do you want to start?
Well, I think we should start off with let's talk about if nobody's watched any of these shows, it's big spoiler, guys, so we're gonna probably ruin it for you guys. So before we go and ruin it, let's talk a little bit about some news, some DC news. Okay. It looks like I think I sent you a message about it, Peter, that the Flash movie looks like it's gonna be happening. There was a rumor that they were gonna pull it, but I guess it's doing good in the screenings. The what's his name? Ezra Miller is a train wreck. Yeah. In his personal life, but I think he's a pretty decent actor, and apparently he pulled it off because people are liking, the screenings of The Flash. So Discover, that's what they're called now. Discover Warner now. Is
Warner,
that how
Warner
they are?
Discovery? Warner Discovery.
But Discover actually. But Discovery's actually who bought them, right?
Yeah, but I think they're putting the name
Discovery's...
Warner. I think they're putting the Warner name first. Everything I've seen is Warner Discovery, but Discovery did buy Warner. But what's the bigger brand name? What would you go with?
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening there. But
Warner's the bigger brand name. Yeah.
It's a bigger brand name, but who knew that Discovery had that much money to buy Warner Brothers? I didn't. I thought it would have been the other way around or something. I didn't know Discovery was that big of a company. But so yeah, train wreck of an actor, but apparently a good movie. Apparently they tested it and it tested the best for any DCEU movie ever. Better than any of them.
Can you imagine that?
And look, to me, you put Michael Keaton in a movie, I'm interested. I mean, he did a great TV series that was on Hulu, I think, recently. Dope, something about Dope. Dope King, Dope Sick. I mean, he's just a great actor. So you put him in it. Richard Greenberg saying that Ezra admitted he's getting medical help to treat his issues. Yeah, it's funny is that there was a press release that went out that totally sounded like it did not come from Ezra. It totally came from marketing people. This is like, Ezra's too much of a train wreck to put together a well-written press release
sentence
saying I'm going to get medical help. They put that. I mean, he's that
probably means that Warner Discover they want this thing to work. I mean, they want to get the guy back. They need to recover him, and hopefully, they'll be able to do it, man. Hopefully, the guy won't.
They need to recover. They need to recover the $300 million they spent on this movie. So they've already spent $300. That's what they want to recover. This is not Batgirl. Like they spent $80 million, right? That's still a lot of money. $300 million beans. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. I mean, if the reviews are that good, and Michael Keaton's in, but I think they also brought back Ben Affleck. So I'm intrigued. I can't wait till it comes out, but we have to wait till next year though. Did you read that Christopher Reeves is going to be in it? I
saw that.
Yeah, they're digitally putting Christopher Reeves in this movie as well. How do you feel about that? I mean, it could be really cool.
Peter, you should have put Christopher Reeves. You should have put Christopher Reeves in between the Michael Keaton and Ezra Miller right there. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I didn't do any
that would have been like cool, or just him popping up.
Yeah,
him just popping up. How they have those animations where they can just pop up like that. Ooh, hello, that would have been funny. But anyways, I know you could do it, Peter, because you're into all this whole. You're good at this stuff, but I'm not going to pressure you.
Oh, I just didn't think I can't do it on the spot right now. I mean, I can technically, but I mean, you have to carry the show for the next 20 minutes while I go edit some images.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But for next time. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully that will revive the DC universe. They also mentioned something about the Aquaman movie. Apparently, hasn't been getting that good
in trouble
mentions. Yeah, which I'm surprised. I thought they also have Amber Heard in it, and man. Talk about train wrecks.
That could be part of the problem because she's a train wreck, right? Obviously, the case. And from everything I heard, they removed as much of her from the movies they possibly could. And in doing that, maybe they damaged some of the movie because maybe some of those scenes made sense. If her scene was important to the story and it's hard to remove, and you do it just because she's could do more damage than good being in the movie, maybe that's part of the problem, or it's just not a good movie, one or the other. But the new head of Warner Discovery I forgot his name, but he's not loving it. But apparently it's not disliking it so much where they're going to pull it. They're not going to do a Batgirl. It'll get released, but maybe it goes for reshoots, or maybe they do some fixing up or whatever.
Well, yeah, hopefully they'll fix it because I'm used to Batman to Aquaman being good. The first one was pretty decent, so a lot of people liked it, and plus Jason Momoa is a cool fella, man.
Yeah, it seems cool. He's got I was gonna say a new season of the show. I tried to watch, I couldn't get into C on Apple TV.
Yeah. I never saw it. I'm gonna try to watch it and see if it's any good.
I watched the first episode. Maybe I watched 2 episodes. I don't remember, but I bailed on it. I couldn't get into it. Maybe it got better. I don't know.
You
I didn't
can
give it much
see
of a chance.
Right?
Yeah. I didn't stick around to see if it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Peppa Pig's with me again. I don't know if you guys saw him yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Little Peppa Pig.
Why?
Because people were asking who Peppa Pig was the other day. So I figured I stole this one from my grandkid.
Yeah.
She's got a stuffed animal too. I'll bring that one out next time.
People are asking about a nerd hat, Ed. No nerd hat?
Oh yes, I'm gonna start getting more hats, guys. It's just I've been a little busy lately, but I'm gonna start ordering them suckers because everybody liked the Elmo one, Peter.
Yeah, I know.
It was a cool hat, and
just keep wearing that one. It could be part of your character.
My whole thingamajig. But yeah, so what do you guys think about the whole DC universe? I mean, I'm also looking forward to watching Black Adam. That's going to be pretty badass, I think. Finally we get an anti-hero. Look at that. Shazam, Black Adam. We should both be epic. I didn't like the first Shazam. I mean, it was
okay.
Dumb fun.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right. But hopefully this next one will be cool. I just didn't like the whole, he had to share his powers with his, family and all that, kumbaya stuff. So, hopefully Black Adam will kick all their butts and we'll only have Shazam. Pretty mean of me, but
my problem with Shazam is the fake muscles. I don't buy that the actor, he's got this fake muscles. We all know he doesn't look like that. I struggle with that. It doesn't look right. It's not like
you don't like the actor too, Peter. I think you were telling me the other day you didn't like him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Didn't do it for me as far as a superhero. I mean, he was fine on Chuck. You know what he was good in? He was good in the Alvin and the Chipmunk movie. I think he was in that. I think he was in one of those, part 2 or part 3, something like that. Not even the first one.
Yeah,
somewhere down.
He looks more of a comedian and stuff. So, it's just he's kind of trying to. It is kind of a comedy, the whole Shazam thing, and I guess that's a good segue to go into the next thing we're going to talk about. I think we should. What was that? Ed washing his nerd shirts?
Yeah, are you washing your nerd shirts for this show? Hey, by the way, Tank gave you I think it was Tank in one of the comments on Sunday's show said to stick your shirt in the freezer, it'll kill the funk.
Well, he must know.
So like I'm gonna. Who knows.
Yeah, he's pretty experienced, and I'm gonna take that advice. I'm gonna do that. And I will let you know
how
Tank,
it goes
if it works out.
Oh, I guess I will let you know how it goes.
Well, yeah, because Peter ends up sitting next to me. So, but this time he put his brother between us.
I did. It was smart.
But he didn't complain, so I guess I wasn't smelling that bad.
My brother's
I did put a lot of cologne on.
My brother's like a war guy. He's been in much worse situations. It's no big deal.
He's probably smelled worse things.
Exactly.
He probably had to clean those latrines and stuff.
And since we're talking about superhero type stuff, why don't we segue over into She-Hulk?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
All right.
Talk about comedy, because we were talking about how Shazam's kind of a comedy.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is a comedy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as funny as I was led to believe. I mean, I thought it would be silly funny. I'll just say this. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was better than I expected. I was not expecting this to be good, to be honest.
Yeah. You were going into this like, I don't know.
Yeah. So for me, it was pretty good. Is it the best Marvel thing? I almost said DC. Is it the best Marvel thing out there? No. But it was good fun. And I think the special effects were improved because there was early releases. Some early images, I think in the first trailer or whatever, it didn't look so good. They improved some of the effects. I think she looks fine. You notice more like on the lip movements, it's not as good as what would be in the movies because it doesn't have the same budget as the movies. But overall, pretty good quality, CGI, I thought.
Mm-hmm. The crossover with the Hulk was pretty cool too. How he took her to Mexico.
Yeah. Got his little tiki bar. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
That was cool. Mm-hmm.
Overall, I thought it was fun. But I saw in the
some
chat,
drinks.
Yeah, I saw in the chat somebody was saying there was some sort of something about it that was questionable. Here, Kyle was saying,
I did see that.
Kata was saying a lot of people hate in She-Hulk, controlling anger scene, especially diminishing Hulk's painful past. I didn't notice it. But
well, yeah, I guess, because
Kata's a bigger
Bruce
nerd
was
than I am.
saying how it took him a long time to master, the monster.
Yeah.
And she, for her, it's just been a breeze. It's been
Because
like
she
nothing.
doesn't have the other monster inside her. At least that's what
Not
she
yet.
thinks. That's what she
Yeah.
thinks. Because the rumors are it's there. She just doesn't know it yet.
So, otherwise, I like when he's trying to teach her how to do things, and she's just like mastering everything
Done.
like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And it got to the point where he was just like, all his efforts were for nothing because she was all right, and she wanted to go back and be a lawyer, a boring lawyer.
Yeah.
Where she could be a superhero.
You know, my biggest issue with the episode was near the end when you've got the girl that is going to play the bad guy. Forgive me, I don't know a whole lot about She-Hulk. So it's just to be straight up. I really don't know a whole lot about the character other than I know it existed. But the girl that's playing the bad guy that kind of bursts into the courtroom, she's from the show The Good Place, which was a pretty decent show. She looked ridiculous. Her costume looks stupid.
Yeah, what was she? I mean, what was her? Who was she? I never looked it up.
I watched a video where they broke it down and they mentioned it, but it kind of went in one ear and out the other because I don't really follow She-Hulk. She-Hulk for me is going to be new. My experience with She-Hulk is going to be through the TV show, which is, for a lot of people, that's how they kind of follow Marvel. A lot of people aren't familiar with the comics and all that, and they have freedom to kind of do whatever they want in the cinematic universe because a lot of people haven't followed it a lot. Not like Kata. Kata's asking, was that Eva Mendes at the end? If he's referring to the same woman we're talking about as far as bursting into the room, no, that was not Eva Mendes. Ed, you're frozen? Uh-oh. Ed seems frozen. Look at him. Look at him. Ed looks like he's sleeping. So he's deep in thought. He's deep in thought about who the actress was. Richard Greenberg switching gears. I heard they will be playing the first 2 episodes of new Lords of the Rings series in the movie theaters on August 31st, 2 days before it premieres on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I heard the same thing. That's cool if you're into that. I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings, but I don't like Lord of the Rings. But Tank's got a thing for She-Hulk when she's hulking out. Likes the hair. I mean, the hair looks better when it's long as opposed to when she's not She-Hulked out, So I get it. All right, let's see if Ed can reconnect. Hopefully he can. It's 2 weeks in a row we've had a problem with Ed, guys. 2 weeks in a row. What was up with that? So it'll be interesting to find out also, they kind of show in the beginning of the She-Hulk episode, they got that spaceship that came down. Richard Reed, maybe Ed's going to need to call in again. I don't know. I called him. He didn't even call in. Did he come straight from the pool? Kata's asking. No, he came straight from work. Came straight from work on these Monday night shows. That's why we do them a little later because Ed works into the evening. So this is when he can do it. Tank saying they say doing Hulk dirty and making him weak. At least his arm got fixed. Yeah, he got his arm fixed. Yeah. But anyways, I like the show. Don't have a whole lot more to say about it. But I liked it. Let us know in the comments right now in the chat or in the comments later on what you thought about She-Hulk. Are you in for the ride? For me, I'll watch anything that's Marvel. And some I like more than others. Like Miss Marvel, didn't really care for it. Watched it. It was okay. Maybe it's not for me, right? Maybe it's meant for a younger audience. This, I'll watch it. But first episode I enjoyed. Hopefully it doesn't get too cheesy or anything or you know. So we'll have to wait and see. Steve Munoz says, in the comics, She-Hulk has been part of the Defenders. Daredevil appearance makes sense now. Yeah, from what I understand, he's going to appear in the next episode. Daredevil should be in the next episode, from what I understand. So, I was just checking my WhatsApp to see if Ed was messaging me there. Did not. So Kata is saying, did your kids like it? I think that's more the demo. I'm not sure if you're referring to the Miss Marvel or She-Hulk, but my daughter didn't watch either. And you know, my daughter is just about 18, so she's probably too old for that show as well. Miss Marvel, it's probably really not for her. The Tank is saying chopsticks and spicy Cheetos and debating if Captain America was a virgin for most of his life was so wrong. No, that was funny. That was pretty funny. And one thing they made a little bit of controversy I thought about with the ending of She-Hulk. She apparently she dropped the F-bomb at the end. First time that's happened in a Marvel production, apparently. Man, Tank throwing shade on Marvel movies. Do all the Marvels suck? Their next movie will be a hard pass. Man, coming hard on the Marvel movie. So, anyways, I like it. So, let's move on. Hopefully, Ed will join us. If not, this won't be as much fun. But let's talk. And let me just remove Ed from here, right there. Let's talk House of Dragon. House of the Dragon. Now, this is something that I really needed Ed for because I am not really into Game of Thrones. I watched this. So I started to watch Game of Thrones specifically just to see what all the hype was about. And I didn't care for all of it. Oh, Ed was just trying to call in and he just tried and then it disconnected. So we'll see if he can get in. Oh, he's trying again. Let's see if Ed can join in. There he is. Let me see about bringing him back up on camera. Ed, I was just switching gears. What happened? Everybody started wondering if you went back to the pool.
Dude, I don't know what happened, but I think the baby was close to the internet connection and it got disconnected. So I had to go.
The Monday shows are turning into a train wreck. That's the show. The Sunday night show, I think we've got it down pat. It works pretty good. You know, I think the Monday night shows are a bit of a train wreck. Yeah,
them critters, I tell you. So we're talking about the dragons, huh?
House of the Dragon. I was just saying that, Ed, I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan. I watched it just to see what all the hype was about. It really wasn't my thing. It was a lot of mumbling in the dark, way too graphic for my
the nudity.
Yeah, a lot of unnecessary nudity and for my PG sensibilities.
Right.
I am quite the prude, I guess, in that area. And so this one comes out. I'm in it just because, again, for the hype. And also because I know we want to talk about it on the show. So overall, as far as my sensibilities go, this one wasn't too bad. There's a couple scenes I did fast forward through. I'll be totally honest. But
when Damon started killing people.
No, more so when he started banging people. But because even when he was killing people, there is a scene, right? Again, spoilers. There is a scene where he chops off some nuts. They didn't show it though, so it was just you know, that's a kind
implied.
Of thing yeah, and I'm cool with that. That's like it makes sense for the story too. If it makes sense for the story, I get it, and I'm more okay with it. But Kata was right. But this was I'd turn my head. The C-section was brutal. I turned my head for that one. I didn't fast forward, but I looked away.
That was one hell of a C-section. I mean, they just basically tore the poor woman apart to take the baby out, all for nothing.
But
baby died not too long after.
Okay. So we're bouncing around a lot here, but because just that's how sometimes we go. But did I miss something? They didn't really talk about the baby dying. They didn't make a big deal about it, or I was sitting there playing around on my phone and I kind of missed it because
You were playing around on your phone and you missed it.
Because I didn't notice them make a big deal about the baby dying until it was just kind of thrown out in passing conversation.
Well, you kind of noticed it because the maester was holding the baby, and he looked at the baby. The baby was crying for a little bit, and it was alive. And then he looked down, and that's when I realized, oh no, the baby's gone.
See, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
And the next scene, they burnt the bodies. The dragon burnt them. So,
but I didn't see two bodies there. I didn't see a baby body.
They showed the baby body.
Did they?
Yes, they did. You weren't paying attention, Peter Brown.
Yeah, the show. Okay, so for me, and people that love Game of Thrones love Game of Thrones. I want to curious more so your thoughts and stuff like that. For me, it was okay. It was just okay. I'll watch it. It was parts of it were boring. I thought the whole jousting thing was a little boring until
they were killing each other though. The jousting. I mean, from what I heard in medieval times, they would do that and they would survive. Of course, some people would die, but in this, they were just like dying left and right. I mean, what kind of tournament is that? Where they're all just getting killed.
I was bored with it.
Why would anybody even get in a tournament if there's a possibility of you dying?
Oh, well,
I mean, because they were fighting to the death.
So the whole time I'm watching the show though, I can't get it out of my head because I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I can't get it out of my head for that guy. I'm waiting for him to say bow ties are cool. I'm really waiting for him to say bow ties are cool because that was his thing when he was the Doctor. And here he's a bit of a bad guy a little bit. But
he's a bad guy, and you almost got to see him naked, Peter. What'd you think about that?
Almost, yeah. Steve Munoz, Ed, Pete, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
What?
Yeah,
Steve?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of people, that I think are with me. But no, there's more people that have seen it than haven't. Let's be honest. I mean, it was a big show. They didn't do this. And it was a beautifully made show. The special effects in it I thought looked great. Apparently, who wants to sit on a throne? I said I want to get your comments, Ed, and then all I do is talk. Who wants to sit on a throne where you're getting cut all the time?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Well, if I'm the king, the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting a new throne. Something that doesn't cut me every time I sit down on this.
Or get, I'm sure you got plenty of people,
get some cushions,
that work for you. Get them to, even out the edges or something.
File it down.
That's what I'm saying.
Make it.
I mean, how lazy are these people? Oh, it's okay to kill each other.
Make a throne out of butter knives.
Yeah, dude, and what's the deal? I mean, he's got plenty of slaves or people that work for him. Just have them work on it. Even out the edges. You're nice and comfy. Put some cushions on it.
All right, Ed. I'm assuming you like Game of Thrones more than I do. And this whole thing, right? So
I do. The actual Game of Thrones, I was disappointed with the last season. I think it could have been better, but they kept on going for the shock. I loved it because there was a shock factor. Main characters were dying, and that kind of like threw you in a loop. And before you knew it, every show started doing that. But just the ending of the last show kind of sucked. So, but. I'm gonna give this one a chance. I didn't.
What'd you think of this episode, though? Of this episode in particular, what'd you think of it?
It was basically very informative. It was trying to tell you, who the characters were. So it was a little bit, I think, hurried. They had the tournament, people dying, blah blah blah, and so now we're at the point where we realize, okay, the king just killed his wife because he wanted a baby boy. He was going crazy for his baby boy.
Yeah.
When and then his brother, is
madman.
Doctor Who. Yeah, he's an evil fella, and he just started doing things that he didn't like, that the king didn't like, and he decided to name his daughter the heir, and that's never been done before.
Right.
And so
That's why we're looking at her here.
So now she's the next one in line to become the queen of the 6 kingdoms, because they still haven't taken over Dorne yet. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did notice
Dorne is independent.
That they kind of had a thing for the what is it, Dorne or Dor?
Yeah.
What are they?
Dornish.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I saw they had a thing for the Dornish fighter, the guy that was going up against Doctor Who. You know, the girls kind of swooned a little bit with the Dornish dude.
She's all about the fella now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see where that develops. If you've read the book,
nope.
Then don't read it, because then it'll be more of a, it'll be more interesting that way.
But this guy, the guy that wrote the books, what's his name again?
J.R. Martin. Is that what you called him? No, it was J.R. The other lady. They're all J.R.'s in our.
I want to call this guy Tolkien, but I know that's Lord of the Rings. Whatever his name is, he writes.
Well, you guys tell us, man, because we're it's a Monday.
He writes really long books.
To remember.
What? I thought about reading the books or at least reading one of the books just to see what it was all about, because I like the books better quite often.
Right.
But I never did. I still haven't. I just started a new book today, but it's not that one. But he's heavily involved in this, though. So it's got to be fairly close representation to the books, I would think.
Right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think he was the one that was pitching this actual show to be developed. So he's very involved. He's a lot more involved than the last one. So
and they got entirely new showrunners on this. So the people that made Game of Thrones good and then also ruined it to most people's opinions are not involved at all.
They're not. So they're doing some other stuff.
Well, they were going to do a Star Wars thing, but then the final season of Game of Thrones came out and it tanked, and then next thing you know, they're not doing Star Wars anymore.
They were doing so well, and then they ruined it at the end. And I don't know. I haven't heard from them. I'm sure they made a lot of money anyway from Game of Thrones. So
of course they don't have to do anything.
I'm sure that probably for the rest of their lives, but yeah, they're good.
It's ego that would make them want to do more, or just creativity. Here, Kata says about the show, it was weird that the Hand of the King sent his teen daughter to comfort the king after the funeral. I thought it was going to go another way. Yeah, that was weird. I thought that was weird as well. Comforting the king. Go comfort the king. He's whoring out his daughter.
Yep. He's like, here's an opportunity so that we can, so that my daughter could be the queen. Give him a little, loving.
I watched some video that kind of broke down the show a little bit, just because, again, I don't know a lot of the backstory. I don't know the kingdoms. Like I said, I watched Game of Thrones, but half-heartedly, like not fully paying attention. And that's kind of how I watched this show. I paid a little bit more attention, but but it's just not my 100% my thing. But it should be like, I like dragons. I like swords. I mean, that sounds cool. But anyways, I watched the show that they were breaking it down a little bit. And they did say something about there could be something between the king and this girl down the line. Like they're going to get it on or something.
It could be. Well, at least in this episode, I thought the same thing. I thought they were going to get it on. But of course, the king's still hurt, that was his sister, wife.
Yeah, they're all related. That was a thing too that I didn't know anything about. They're all
because that
it's this whole sister wife thing. I mean, they're all cousins and brothers and sisters. I mean, there's
a lot of loving in that family, man.
And that's apparently why they, later on down the line, this line of people are all kind of nuts. They got the Mad King or whatever, and it's because that whole bloodline is so corrupt, because it's all, it's like, we have tree, right? And your family tree has a lot of branches. Their family tree is straight. There's no branches. It's just straight. It's just like one big pole. That's it. That's their family tree. Pretty gross, right?
So So yeah, I guess he's still hurt because his sister wife passed away, and you could tell he was hurt when he decided that he wanted the boy more than he wanted his wife, I guess, because he chose
Well,
that
but
was the choice he had.
the way I understood that is you basically had a choice of the wife's probably going to die anyways, just so save the kid. Right?
That's
I
your,
mean,
your
that's kind of because in those kind of situations, in those days when they don't have like good medicine and all that, you figure. I mean, the baby's already turned or it was breached or whatever, and so
right.
the mother's probably not going to make it anyways.
Right.
As it
And
is,
it doesn't help that they're she had a whole bunch of kids apparently and miscarried, and it also has to do with the fact that they're related.
That's just the woman's role in that world, baby machine. That's
Yeah.
their job.
Yeah. So yeah, but you can imagine in the future. I mean, she's already there. She's comforting, homeboy, the king, and it's only a matter of time before he,
Kata thinks
gets it on.
Yeah, Kata says the king is too good-hearted to last in this show. That was the other thing that I learned a little bit is that he is destined to die. That as an actor, he already knows he will die. It's just when.
Right.
Is how long will that wound that he has in the back? How long till it grows or whatever, and he's killed off. But at least the king was good, and the girl goes to visit him. We think they're gonna get it on and all that, and he just cares about building his model. Right? They just talked a little bit, I think. Right? That's all that happened, right? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing happened. But down the road, once he starts forgetting the wife, sister, he's he's a man.
So yeah, the show's every Sunday night, and so next Sunday there'll be another episode on.
And we'll talk about it on Monday. So. Yeah, but you thought, Peter, that there was too much nudity. It wasn't necessary, right?
No. It was less than I expected. But I'm just not down with the whole whorehouse thing. It's just like, man, I don't need a show that I got to turn down the volume because I'm afraid my wife's going to hear something that's weird or my daughter's going to hear something that's just sounds weird for her dad to be watching. I don't need that. It's just like I'm not getting my jollies off watching that. I don't get it. I don't again, maybe it's cuz I'm a PG-13 kind of guy. Maybe I'm too prude. Maybe I'm say whatever you want. I just look at that. I'm like, I don't need that in my life.
Right. Me, on the other hand, it doesn't even faze me. I'm like, oh, yeah, look at them. They're doing it.
But does that say something about society too, that it doesn't faze people?
I guess. I mean,
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you live a sheltered life, Peter Brown.
It wasn't. I'm not saying.
You don't want to get in trouble. Oh, but I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a valid point.
The show wasn't as bad as I thought, though. But there were a couple of scenes where I'm just like, fast forward.
Yeah,
turn the volume.
You don't
down.
want to see Doctor Who, trying to get it on with some lady. That was just
some. Yeah. I mean, he rents out all the horde houses to entertain his guys. I don't know. But I get it. At the same time, they're trying to make this kind of like historical accurate. And granted, I know it's a make-believe world, but it's trying to take place in a time period in the world that may have happened, right? So in those times of the knights and all that kind of stuff, I imagine a lot of guys were a bunch of filthy, dogs, right? So, and if they're trying to be accurate to the times, I guess it makes sense. Just again, not for me.
Gotcha. I see a lot of conversation in the chat room. One World One Go is saying that somebody should call in because if she calls in, she's going to ask you about the Crown.
I never saw the Crown, and she was saying last week that or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, that the Crown was like the biggest show on Netflix or whatever. Like that the Crown put Netflix on the map, I think is what she was saying. It made me go and Google, like, what is the show that put Netflix on the map? And Netflix was on the map before the Crown. Netflix was a big thing before the Crown. Crown was a big show. Never watched it because, again, that's another show.
I didn't even watch it either.
Well, that's just nothing wrong with it. It's just a show that probably wasn't for me. I'm not that demographic. Just like I didn't watch Bridgerton. I'm not the demographic for it. My daughter is, but I'm not. And so I didn't watch that show either. And I know it's a big thing.
I've never heard of Bridgerton till today.
See? But it's kind of similar to that time period of the Crown. You know, it's royal and all that kind of stuff, you know.
I got you. Well, you know, we haven't even talked about Star Wars.
Because there's nothing to talk about right now. Is there?
Oh, man, I had to bring out my lightsaber.
Other than, I did see Tank had mentioned something about when we were talking about the guys, the creators of, here it is. When we were talking about the guys that created Game of Thrones as a TV show and how they're no longer part of it, they were going to be doing a Star Wars thing. Tank had said, oh, yes, weren't they supposed to make a film during the Old Republic era? I can't wait to see younger Yoda whenever the High Republic comes out. So, if you're into
it's going to be a young Yoda?
Well, yeah, he was younger. So, here's the thing. If you want to get into the High Republic, you can. There's books. So far, there's 3 adult novels that already came out. I read all 3. They're pretty good. I won't say they're very good. They're pretty good. Then there's a couple of comic series that came out as well. And then there's a couple of young adult series and a couple. I mean, it came out as a whole publishing thing. And the rumor was that they created this whole High Republic era that takes place 200 or 300 years before Vader and all that stuff. So that they did it in the novels so that they could kind of play around, see if people are interested and stuff like that, and then kind of maybe go and play around in that in the movies. So setting up the kind of the world a little bit in the novels. And there's a new novel, a part of that series. They did something weird. This is one thing with Star Wars that bugs me. Sometimes they jump around the timelines a little too much. So they came out with 3 novels. Like I said, 3 adult novels for the High Republic. They create a bad guy and everything that you care about. So he's supposed to be kind of the Vader-ish, but it's nothing with the dark side or anything like that. He's a pirate, but he'll kill a bunch of people, so he's not good. So they build him up and all that, and then that series, that trilogy of books is over. Now they're going like 100 years before that. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You just made me care about this bad guy. I want to see how that story continues. But
right.
no,
I hate when they do that.
They're going to go back further to where they kind of talk about his heritage, his bloodline, and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's too soon. Anyways.
Right. Hey, but why is everybody doing these prequels, man? They're just go prequel crazy nowadays. It's like everything's a prequel. What happened before. No, I want to see, like they're actually talking about doing a Jon Snow movie. I actually want to see that or series. Because, I do want to find out
he was popular
to Jon Snow after he went back to the Wall or whatever.
Right.
He was supposed to be the king. Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
He should have been the king, in my opinion. I think that would have made the show a lot better. But,
Tank says, when does a High Republic come out? So there is no planned High Republic movie. So that's not happening as of right now. But there are rumors that it could be happening. There's, rumors that the Tai Waititi, whatever his name is, the guy that did Thor, he's doing a Star Wars movie. It could take place in the High Republic. Nobody really knows. There is a TV series coming out. I forgot the name of it. Help me in the comments. That's coming out. That's taking place in the High Republic era. It's directed by or created by the woman that did the TV series Russian Doll. Right this moment, I just had a brain fart and I cannot remember the name of that new series. But
if you guys remember it, write it down in the chat because I have no idea what Peter's talking about.
Well, that's what Google's for, right?
Oh, Baldwin's here.
All right.
A little late, bud. We're almost off, but yeah, you can watch. Catch up with what we were talking about, and we moved into Star Wars somehow because I busted out my lightsaber.
Yeah, you asked if there was anything in Star Wars to talk about.
Yeah, so it was all my fault. But we were talking about the dragons, and before that we were talking about She-Hulk, and before that we were talking about DC not wanting to get rid of Flash. So that's all the stuff you missed, man.
Yep. Oh, the one thing that's coming out, there is going to be, as far as Star Wars, there is going to be a Obi-Wan Kenobi documentary coming out on Disney Plus Day. Disney Plus Day is coming out soon. Andor's coming out next month.
Andor, yeah.
Andor's coming out next month.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I think that'll be good.
I kind of agree with Tank. He's talking about
Acolyte
Jon
is
Snow.
the name of the show that I'm trying to remember. Acolyte is supposed to take place in the High Republic. It's a TV series, not a movie. Don't know much about it, other than, like I said, it's created by the woman that did the Russian Doll TV series, and Acolyte is the name of it. Supposed to focus somehow on the dark side, even though in the High Republic books they stayed away from the dark side. That's not really a big part of it. But anyways, I recommend.
I like the dark side. It's better.
But they can't. Here's the thing: is there's conversations like, can we have Star Wars without lightsabers and dark side? Can they? Because Star Wars is more than just the Sith and the Jedi. There's so much more vertical. There's such a good playground. I mean, look at The Mandalorian, though. I mean, that's such a good show. And there's really not a whole lot of Jedi stuff in there. Now, Ahsoka was brought in, but I mean, a lot. Just think about like
Luke Skywalker was brought in
at the end of the second season, though. But think about the first season. Imagine. Think about a show that takes place in the cantina from the original movie, from A New Hope, and all those dirtball characters that are in the So all those dirtball characters that are in the cantina, all the scum and the villainy, right, that are in that cantina. You could do a whole show about those kind of the underground, and that's kind of a little bit of what The Mandalorian sort of is. So that's kind of people are wanting to Star Wars to branch out into other areas. Yeah, other people wanted to go hard in the old Republic kind of thing, and we're back into the Sith and the history of the Sith and all that. And I have no problem with that either. I'm just saying that's where the right now, at least, that's where the books are spending their time. There's a little bit of the dark side stuff in it, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Kata's saying he needs more Grogu soon. You'll get him. You'll get him in the new thing. Baldwin showing up late, so asking all the late questions. Welcome, Baldwin. Did we decide House of Dragon is good? I haven't watched it yet. She-Hulk was okay. I want more Hulk personally.
I think we all want more Hulk. But they still got that issue, right?
So I disagree. I don't want more Hulk. The show is not called Hulk. The show is She-Hulk.
No. Yeah, but people want more Hulk movie, Hulk series.
Okay, fine, but in this series,
World War Hulk.
But in this series, it should be about her.
Yeah, but I think he's not talking about
her show.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, but I don't think they're talking about more Hulk in her show.
There was a headline, and I think I mentioned this last week. I'm not sure. I did not read the article, but I read a headline. Where it said something about in coming months, Disney may have full ownership of the Hulk, so that they can make a solo movie of the Hulk if they so choose. So
good. That's what I want to see. I earlier Tank was talking about. I was going to mention something, but you rudely interrupted me, Peter.
I do that all the time.
Where Tank was saying that he wanted Jon Snow to marry his aunt, and that would have made that show a lot better.
Why?
Because Daenerys was his aunt.
Oh yeah,
and
there was a whole.
they got it on.
I didn't know they were related. I didn't get that. I didn't know.
They ended up being related.
Mm.
He's her niece and our nephew, and yeah, he didn't know that. But once he knew that, he kind of got all icky about it. But she was okay with it because she was like used to that, you know.
I mean, that's what her family does.
Yeah, that's their thing. So,
all right. Back to Star Wars. Richard Greenberg asks if Vader will be in Andor. I don't think so. I don't think Vader will be in Andor. I think
he could.
Of course he could, but I don't think so. I think here's my thought. Maybe not first season. I think Andor is about the beginning of the rebellion. At least for this one character. So he's Cassian Andor. It's going to show him growing up, and this. I think a lot of it's going to focus on this one little planet, and you know, I don't in the rising, the rebel rising will start, but I don't think it's at the level that it gets Vader to come to stomp his boot down. Not yet. Maybe season 2, but I don't think we see Vader in season 1. I think they want to use him sparingly. You know, they did get Hayden Christensen back, so they can, but I think they use him sparingly. I don't think so.
Well, somebody's talking about Ezra. You know, a tank is talking about maybe they get Ezra back, Ezra Bridger. I'd love to see him back in real life. I wonder who would play him.
You will.
Oh, he's coming back?
Ezra is going, from everything I read, Ezra will be in Ahsoka.
Nice. So she's going to go and find him.
Yeah.
Or it might be prequel or something.
Because everything's it's Star Wars. You go back and forth. You don't know where I don't know where the ending of Rebels falls. Okay, so I didn't watch all of Rebels. I started watching. The thing is weird. I love cartoons in general, but the Star Wars cartoons, I tend to lose interest for whatever reason. I start watching them, and I tend to lose interest. I mean, I know they're not targeted my age group, so that's part of the reason, I guess. But so Rebels starts what after Return of the Jedi? I mean, is it? Or is it? Oh no, I mean, sorry. It takes place after Revenge of the Sith, before A New Hope. It's the beginning of the rebellion, the TV show Rebels.
Yeah,
so
that is the beginning of the rebellion.
After Revenge of the Sith, before A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then, where does it end? Is it still end? Does the series end before A New Hope, or is it overlap a little bit into? I don't know that answer.
Good question. Good question. There's got to be a timeline somewhere.
I'm trying to place, would Ezra be alive during the Mandalorian timeline? Because Ahsoka TV series takes place in what they're calling the Mandoverse. Like all these, a lot of these TV series, other than Kenobi, take place they're all spin-offs of the Mandalorian. So they're taking place in the Mandoverse. And Ahsoka will take place in the Mandoverse, which takes place, after Return of the Jedi. Takes place right after Return of the Jedi. When the Empire's been crushed, more or less, but it's shattered, it's in pieces. There's still some warlords out there. They want to trying to keep control of the Empire. So it's like broken, but it's not fully gone. It's like a time of lawlessness. So
you know what I want to see is Darth Vader. You take some of these guys. I want him to take out Ezra. I want to take him to take out Ahsoka. Yeah, dude, because he's supposed to be a badass. So he doesn't kill people. What's up with that?
He did look a little.
Well,
weak.
He does, but
right, he did look a little weak in Kenobi when he didn't finish off Kenobi. But we know he couldn't. He couldn't because we know how it ends.
Right.
But you're right. He could off some other people though that don't matter.
That's what I want. I want him to off people. Grogu too.
You want Grogu to start killing some people?
Yeah, man.
Here's where Richard Greenberg, I don't know what context he was talking about, but Grand Admiral Thrawn. So
I want to see him too.
And I know they've developed Grand Admiral Thrawn in the animated series, but for me, Grand Admiral Thrawn is Heir of the Empire. It's the Timothy Zahn trilogy that came out. in the 90s. It was novels. I actually want to go back and read those. I have them. They're great. And it's all part
I read
of
the first
legend.
one.
Huh?
I read the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember the names of all three. I know it was Heir to the Empire. I think I don't remember what the middle one was called. Then there was The Last Command, I think it was called. I got all three books in the closet, but that was a great character. And and I know they're writing new books for him and stuff like that, but and I've read some of them, but for me, it's those original 3 Timothy Zahn books with that character. Grand Admiral Thrawn was cool.
Right.
That's it. Baldwin's right. Dark Force Rising. That's it. Thank you.
Gosh, fellow nerds.
Yeah, I like reading that stuff. I'm a big reader. I'm always reading something. I read them slowly quite often because I'll get distracted and I forget that I got a book going on. But I've always got one going on. So, all right, I think it's about time to wrap it up. I think we did good work. We did about a little over an hour. Caught us asking questions about coming up. Is the Addams Family Netflix show nerd show material?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty nerdy. We'll look it up for next week. We can see what's up with that. That's a good place to start right there. You guys could leave us comments or put it in the chat what you guys want to talk about, and we'll do what you guys want because we're easy like that.
I do want to see it, so I heard it looks very Tim Burton, which
that's
I'm
cool.
down with that.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ed. I'd say we wrap this sucker up. Tell everybody.
I think we're good. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your mom, dad, uncles, dogs, cats, everybody to follow us. They can watch us now on Twitch. You can watch us on Facebook. You can watch us on Twitter. You can watch us on this YouTube channel. And anything else, Peter?
Just, tell everybody about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Baldwin is also finishing off the show saying Ring of Powers starts next week. So that's the Lord of the Rings thing. So we can, there's definitely content for us to talk about. So
tons of goodies. All Fellow nerds, we're out of here.
See you later. Thanks, everybody, for watching.